Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, we will look at a game played by one of my students. His name is Ian. He's really good. Occasionally, he rushes, and then terrible things happen. But when he takes his time, he's super good. This is a game we played together, actually. And he came up with a lot of the ideas on his own. So let's take a look. The time control was 15-10. Our opponent starts with d4. And Ian likes to play the Dutch defense. Okay. e3. e3 is fine. The downside of e3 is this bishop cannot play chess. But otherwise it's a legitimate move. Ian plays knight f6. That's normally how the Dutch defense works. Might play knight c3 again, not the greatest move in the world because it blocks this pawn. A lot of the time this pawn wants to move and control the center. Ian played d6, makes sense. White play knight f3, good move, develops the knight. Ian likes to play the Stonewall setup. The Stonewall is this setup where pawns look like this, which is what Ian eventually does. It's a little bit better to play c6 first because after bishop d6, white can play knight b5 and bother this bishop. But he didn't do it, and now c6. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Stonewall. So the upside, it's very solid, it's very stable. Black has an idea of bringing the knight to the square, castling, bringing the rook, bringing the queen, and checkmating the opponent. Now the downside is white can stop it. And the other problems with this is because both this move and this move happened. White now controls this square. We don't really control this square because white can kick us. And also this bishop is not going to have a lot of fun in this game. Sometimes he plays chess by coming around like this. Okay, white played knight e2, which sort of makes sense because he was doing absolutely nothing here and just blocking the pawn, which probably wants to move. Ian played his favorite move, knight e4. Notice if white takes, we take with this pawn, which means that after we castle, this will be a good rook. White played b3, guessing to prepare c4. Ian castled. And white played c4, which makes sense. Ian develops the knight, knight d7. White kicks the bishop. The bishop drops here because he wants to stay on this diagonal. He does not want to go this way. White plays bishop b2, which doesn't do anything at all. It just blocked by the pawn. So usually if white does something like this, he should continue with b4, b5, maybe b4, a4, b5, and continue to attack. Okay, we continue with the typical attacking idea, because f5 was played. Rook f6, rook h6 needs to be played. White plays knight h4, which I don't understand. Maybe he wanted to kill the knight. I don't know. But the rook wanted to go here anyway. Now it gets to do this with tempo. We briefly considered sacrificing the bishop here, but it's not entirely terrible, but it's not enough. So the logic is takes rook h6, pinning the knight. As you can see, this is even, because there are ideas of g5 coming. But it's not best. But you should always look at moves like that. So we play it here immediately now. The rook and the bishop are connected here. Opponent played g3. If he plays knight here, Ian had a very cool idea. And this is an idea which I want you to remember, which is bishop takes. Because after knight takes, we play queen h4. And this will be game over. So let's go back. Opponent stopped that. He played g3, defends the knight, blunts the bishop. And here we played g5, which I think is actually one of the two best moves. Yeah, we can also consider sacrificing, but and sacrificing is certainly good. The logic again is takes. We threaten checkmate, but white will play f4, and there is no more checkmate now. So we play g5 first, forcing the knight away. The knight went to g2, which makes sense. And now we need to bring the queen into the attack. Queen e8, with the idea of queen h5. Okay. White plays knight c3. Knight c3 makes a lot of sense because now the queen covers this square. And now queen h5 is no longer possible. If we ever push this pawn to block the queen, white knight can come back. So we brought the knight into the attack. White took our knight, which we sort of like, because now we take back, we open this line, we attain with tempo, the bishop is attacked. The bishop retreated, and we decided to play a move which computer thinks is third best. Computer just wants to improve the queen, but we play d5. And the point of e5 is to bring this bishop into the attack. And white here made a terrible mistake, he played g4. The problem with g4 is it opens this bishop. And of course we now completely opened him by taking. White took back, we took with check, king here. And now the question is, how do you finish off your opponent? And here Ian came up with a really cool idea. So obviously we want to get our queen on the square where the bishop is. The question is, how do you get it there? And so Ian came up with the idea of bringing the queen on this diagonal. And this is very cool. So bishop g4. It's not the best move, but it's certainly good. Our opponent just took our bishop. If he takes our knight, our opponent took our knight. If he takes our bishop, which is the best move, this is still really good for us. As you can see, black, it's about +3. But our opponent took the knight, and now we play again. Queen h5 is even better in this case, but Ian continues with his idea. As you can see, black is +54. And now the threat is simple. We just want to move our bishop. And checkmate is coming soon. Best move for white apparently is to give up the bishop completely for free. But white takes here. And now we continue with bishop g1. Followed by queen h2. Checkmate. Okay, nice attacking idea in the Stonewall. White did not handle it the best way. I do not recommend Stonewall to anyone rated above 2000. Probably anyone rated above 1800. Because your opponents will know how to stop your attack. And then you will have not a great bishop. But if you're rated below 1800, this is a nice setup. And again, remember, the Stonewall looks like this. The knight wants to go here. The rook wants to come up. The queen a lot of the time switches like this. The second knight can join the fun. And you will get a decent attack. But again, be careful, because if your opponent knows what he's doing, you might not have as much fun as you want to have. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Please like, please subscribe. I'll be back soon. Thank you.